Says 1 more minute, but that's the longest minute. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Thirty seconds.
They should never give me a microphone. Have you noticed that?
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Great group, responsive. I'm the Reverend Judy Cooper, the Associate Pastor here at Kobe Temple. And this is our Lyceum, which is our Sunday school. So we're going to get right into it. And I'm going to introduce our lecturer for today, Miss Ilene Ballentine. She is a teacher. She's a writer. She's funny. And it's going to be a great pleasure. So enjoy, Miss Ilene Ballentine.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you. So, good morning. It was several months ago when Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates asked me to speak today and do the Lyceum. And when I was contemplating what to speak about today, so many things came racing through my mind. Should I pick one of the 9 principles and dig deep into it? Or maybe talk about different religions and how some actually separate you from spirit because they require a middleman. Or I could talk about the winter solstice. So many thoughts, so many choices. And then, as spirit often does, my life was taken off my course by the sudden and unexpected death of my father, passing of my father on November 5th. So in my despair, I thought, oh, I'll talk about death and how different cultures handle death and grieving. Some encourage you to mourn and wail and cry, and others actually try to sedate the mourners to make others more comfortable. So this all led me to really slowing down and thinking about, how am I handling grief as a spiritualist and a medium? And is it any different than those who of the faith that you're born, you live, you die, that's it, end of story? Well, it does bring me some relief knowing that my father is in spirit with my mother, reunited with all his loved ones. I did wail, and I did cry, and I did scream, and I was sad, and I did withdraw for exactly a whole month. Not because I'm at all worried about my dad's eternal soul, but because I missed his humanness. I missed our interactions. I missed him walking through the door saying, hey, sorry, I'm early. What's for dinner? 2 hours early. I missed all this. I think the big difference between my experience of grief and that of someone from a different faith is that I'm open to and accepting of signs from spirit that my loved ones are still around. Shortly after my mother transitioned about 3.5 years ago, I was out in the pool and a burnt orange butterfly appeared. And it appeared every day for weeks. And that was the same exact color she wore on her lips and her nails forever. She always wore burnt orange. So after my dad passed, and in a perfect alignment with his personality, a bear started showing up at my house. It was digging through the trash looking for leftovers. My father loved my cooking. So some might say, well, bear sightings in Florida aren't that rare. We've lived in that house for over 22 years and we've never had bears. And at one of my daughter's house, things keep getting moved around. Her coffee cups get turned, and her youngest daughter, who's 4, points to the sky and calls him the ghost man. She said, the ghost man's back. She's not scared, just intrigued. And the sweetest thing is, my granddaughter Charlotte was at my home on Friday, and she said, Grammy, I think you have ghosts in this house. And I said, you do? Why? She said, because I just got the warmest feeling, like someone was hugging me. So that really touched my heart. My father also had a weird thing about drinking straws. He said, real men don't drink from straws. He even convinced his 3 grandsons of this wise wisdom. So one night my daughter went to bed and woke up, and her straws that she keeps on the counter were all knocked down. So yes, I do find comfort in the communication from spirit. And I miss our human to human interactions. My father had such a passion for living. He loved and lived out loud. Now, in the wise words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that. So, what are we going to talk about? We've got 40 more minutes. Well, I don't know about all of you, but I know that I could certainly use some comfort and cheer. So, let's talk about the holiday season. And today marks the second Sunday of Advent. Now, I was born in a Jewish family, so to me, Advent just meant a little cardboard calendar that you open the door and you get chocolate. I just thought my friends were so lucky. But upon researching, I realized that there's much more to it. The Advent season is a time of preparation for our hearts and minds for the anniversary of Jesus's birth on Christmas. Now, I know there's a lot of debate as to whether Jesus was actually born on that date or if at all. So for me, and for the purpose of today's discussion, this season is not about a specific event, but more symbolic of the 4 virtues of Advent, which are hope, love, joy, and peace. There are hundreds of prayers, traditions, rituals relating to Advent, but one that seems to be common amongst all of them is the wreath. And Advent, the use of the wreath during Advent is longstanding Catholic tradition that was originally adopted by Christians in the Middle Ages as a part of their spiritual preparation for Christmas. The wreath is full of symbolism tied to the season. The wreath itself is never ending. There's no beginning, no end, and it symbolizes the eternity of God and the immortality of the soul. No one can say for sure exactly when Advent was introduced, but we do know that it was born out of pagan tradition. Long before the time of Christianity, the pagan communities across the world used to set aside the weeks before winter solstice. These weeks were a time to honor the coming of the light, that is the return of the sun, S-U-N, where days started getting longer. No matter what spiritual path you follow, I think we can all agree that our entire planet could use some more hope, love, joy, and peace. So, how do we put these virtues into action? One way is, instead of putting chocolates, or in addition to the chocolates in an Advent calendar, some people put little slips of paper, and each day they open it and it's a different good deed to do. Like maybe call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or visit someone who lives alone. There's all kinds of things you can do to spread cheer. If you can't come up with something, you can always ask little kids. They're always great at that. So does anybody have any questions or comments about Advent before we move on to another subject? Did anybody here celebrate the season of Advent or really pay attention to it? I never have. But I think next year I'm going to really start, because I like the idea of giving yourself and your heart and your body and your mind time to slow down and prepare. So for the remainder of my time, I'm going to do my best to inspire all of us to feel, see, and share the magic of this season. As I mentioned earlier, the 4 virtues of Advent are hope, love, joy, and peace. So let's start with hope, because really everything starts with hope. According to Pope Benedict XVI, it is the beautiful task of Advent to awaken in all of us memories of goodness and thus open the doors to hope. One of the many definitions of hope, and the one that I liked the most, was to cherish a desire with anticipation. To cherish something or hold dear, show deep affection for. And one of the synonyms is appreciate. So we can appreciate the desire with anticipation. Now, I don't know about all of you, but much to the dismay of Abraham Hicks, and I was there yesterday, I went to the seminar, I often find it very challenging to appreciate a desire that has not yet manifested in the physical. Anybody else have trouble appreciating things that have not yet manifested? And then there's that anticipation part. According to the English dictionary, the definition of anticipation is a feeling of excitement about something that is going to happen in the near future. So now I'm supposed to be excited about this thing that I want to manifest that is not yet manifested. Whoever said hope floats should have said hope sinks. And that's exactly what it has to do to survive. It has to sink past the mind, past all that indoctrination, past the past that wants us to believe that there is no hope, and settle in the core of our very being. Hope has to settle in our soul. Hope is the original soul food. It's the spark that lights and inspires us to show up, keep going, and participate in our own destiny. Hope is the pure essence of that thing which we desired in the first place. I hope that I've at least made you a little bit curious about your own relationship with hope. To conclude this portion about hope, I'm going to read a poem entitled 4-Leaf Clover. The poet is unknown. I know a place where the sun is like gold, and the cherry blooms burst forth in the snow, and down underneath, in the loveliest nook, where the 4-leaf clovers grow. 1 leaf is for hope, and 1 is for faith, and 1 is for love, you know. And God put another, just for luck. If you search, you will find where it grows. But you must have hope, and you must have faith, and you must love and be strong. And so, if you work, if you wait, you will find the place where the 4-leaf clovers grow. So, sorry I keep moving around. I'm having trouble with my foot today. Our next on our list of virtues is love. The dictionary states that the definition of love is an intense feeling of deep appreciation. As I read this, I got stuck on the word intense. It reminded me of how my experience with love has changed as I've matured. I remember my first crushes and how intense those were. It felt like life or death. How many people here have had that feeling? Remember that as a young person? I mean, it literally felt so intense. Has anyone here seen the movie Love Actually? Raise your hand if you've seen it. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend it for the holidays. There's one little scene that's kind of weird, but there's a line in the movie where a stepfather named Daniel is speaking to his young stepson Sam, whose mother had passed, trying to find out why Sam has been so sad and upset. Was he deeply grieving his mother? Was he going to hurt himself? So when Sam revealed to Daniel that while he did miss his mother, his current state was due to the fact that he was in love. When Sam revealed to Daniel about this, when Daniel heard this, he was elated and shared how happy he was that it was only love and not something worse. To which Sam replied, worse than the total agony of being in love? And Daniel had to agree. This made me curious. Why does love hurt so badly sometimes? Or is it only when we lose love or can't have love? If so, is that really love? Today, as a 58-year-old woman, I can say that I've experienced unconditional love, both given and received. And this kind of love has never hurt me. It's never brought me pain or anguish. I love my husband, my daughters, and of course, my 3 granddaughters. And there's nothing they could do to make me stop loving them. True love has no strings, no agenda. It's a state of pure appreciation. And in my opinion, the most important love of all is love of self. So many times we're so hard and mean on ourselves. So unkind. I like the way this teeny little poem by Alex L. describes it. Who taught you to unlove yourself so sweetly that you actually thought it tasted good? I've been on the path of self-exploration for over 30 years, and one of the best rewards for this work has been falling in love with myself. And as that love grows, and as I accept all of me, my capacity to love others has also expanded. So if you desire more love in your life, I suggest you pick yourself to be the recipient of your love. To conclude the portion dedicated to love, I'll recite a poem titled Self-Love by James Cruz. Treat yourself as an honored guest in your own home. Sweep the floors, whisking loose hairs and crumbs into the dustpan, clearing cobwebs, as if you were about to arrive here for the very first time. Stoke the fire in the wood stove, stacking logs of birch and maple, whose bark curls into flames that will warm the whole house as you step into your body. Learning to love its shape like never before. Offer yourself the wedge of brie you've been keeping in the back of the fridge. Pop open whatever bottle you've been saving for the moment you finally become your own dream date, your own special occasion. Now sit at the table for one and feast on a simple meal of bread and cheese, relishing each taste of this new life, which has always been waiting inside you. So this brings us to joy. According to the Free Dictionary, one of the meanings of joy is an outward show of pleasure or delight, rejoicing. I do believe that when you're in joy, you glow, you radiate, and this is a warm expression that often attracts people. Oftentimes I'll go shopping with my daughters and they'll say to me, Mom, why is it that everyone stops and talks to you and no one talks to us? And I said, well, look in the mirror. They walk around like they've just smelled dog poo. There is a modern phrase for that, but I won't say it here. So I love this quote from Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa says, joy is the net of love by which you can catch souls. I recently attended Abraham Hicks' seminar yesterday, and right before Esther comes out on stage, they play a song called joy is the key. And I think it's true. For me, joy is the key to raising my vibrations to a level that's in sync with source. From that place, all things are possible. Life is brighter, I feel content, and I have a lot more fun. So, how do you raise your vibration, especially when you're feeling low? I do it by focusing my attention on something that brings me joy. A few things that bring me joy personally are thinking about or playing with or talking to my granddaughters, sitting around the table with my family, laughing and sharing stories. Sharing great food and conversation with friends brings me joy. Doing readings, teaching workshops. I love bubbles and sunflowers and the beach. And when I'm feeling low, just taking a moment to slow down and think about one of these things, or actually get up and do one of these things, really does raise my vibration. So I would just like each of you to think for a moment about what brings you joy. If you were to be caught in a low energy and wanting to change that, what brings you joy? Would you be willing to share? What brings you joy?
Gratitude.
Gratitude. Nice. So if you're feeling low and you concentrate on gratitude, you've raised your vibrations. Yeah. Nice. Bob, would you be willing to share? What brings you joy? Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, that raises my vibration. Anybody else? Yes. Music. Is there a particular type of music? Oh, nice. And you can probably actually feel your vibration raising, can't you? Oh, nice. Anybody else? Darlene. Oh, nature. Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect one. Judy. Nature. Yeah, it's amazing. And what? Pets. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It is amazing. Like even with my granddaughters, sometimes they'll just be getting kind of chaotic and arguing and take them outside. Next, they're running and playing on the trampoline and chasing butterflies. And yeah, it is amazing what fresh air and nature can do. Anybody else have anything they want to share about what brings them joy? Yes. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. Yes, Jamie. Music. Yeah. So, like at the seminar yesterday. Oh, yes, Peggy. Oh, nice. That is nice. Having the freedom to do what you want to do. At the seminar yesterday, Abraham Hicks really, really kept reiterating, that feeling good is work. It's not a magic pill. It's not the next reading I get it. They're going to uncover some secret and I'm going to be happy the rest of my life. It's not the next seminar. It's not the next book or the teacher or the guru or anything. Or the money or the anything or the better job. It is work. For me, I enjoy the work. So the word work just to me means like the word responsibility. How many people here sometimes have a hard time with that word or yeah. Do you know what it means to me? It just means able to respond. When I hear the word responsibility, like it's your responsibility, I think, ooh, they knew that I was able to respond to this task. Or I wouldn't have picked. So I have this little play I do on words. Even the word emergency. When I hear that word, I think that many, many years ago, before we all lived like we do, when we lived in clans and together, I think that like maybe there was a full moon and someone saw it and they would run around to the different tents and say, emerge and see, emerge and see. So I kind of get excited. So yes, I am wired different than most people. So Let me see. Yes. In conclusion, I think that this poem captures the essence of joy very well. It's called Dance by a man named Paul Hayward. Open your heart to happiness. Let every pore absorb the light. Swim in the joy of here and now and cast off darkness of night. Walk in the summer of sunshine, fly in the blueness of sky. Know that possibilities are boundless and understand that nothing can die. Step from the shadows of torment, sing till your throat gets sore, smile for as long as the day is, and laugh just a little bit more. Breathe slowly and deeply and listen. Give all your ideas a chance. Let the sun beat down on your goodness. Kick off your shoes and dance. That really summed up the feeling of joy to me. And so last, but certainly not least, is peace. What do you think of when you hear the word peace? For me, yes, please. Serenity. Nice. Anybody else have something come to mind when they hear the word peace? Well, for me, it always meant I always thought it was dead silence and solitary for some reason. Quiet, I always thought, well, sure, monks can be peaceful. Except the ones that recently got busted for doing amphetamine. But I always thought you could only be peaceful to be a monk on the top of a mountain. Today I have a different belief about peace. I think peace just means accepting everything as it is without judgment or fear. I can be in a very crowded, loud space and choose to be at peace. Just as I could be all by myself and be irritated and angry in a quiet room. So Eleanor Roosevelt had a brilliant quote about peace, and she said, "It isn't enough to talk about peace. One must believe in it. And it isn't enough to believe in it. One must work at it." So how do we work at peace? Some people think that in order for individuals to be at peace, that the world must first be at peace. I've been there before. Well, if the world's not at peace, how can we be at peace? But I think that's backwards. I think if each of us worked on peace of mind, body, and spirit, then world peace would just have to follow. And it takes work to achieve peace of mind. Daily work. I think it was, I don't know if anyone here ever remembers Leo Buscaglia. He talked about people would go to his seminars and have this wonderful, awakenings, and then they would text him or email him later and say, that's full of bull and it didn't work and I'm back to feeling horrible. So he came up with a saying. He said, showers work really well, but we expect you to do it daily. So that's the thing, coming to church here is wonderful. I get a recharge, and the 6 days in between are up to me to continue to keep that feeling alive. So most of us have had chaotic thinking for so long that it's actually become normal. They call it the monkey brain, all different things. I dare say it's even become comfortable for a lot of people. What can you do to stop that? You can practice meditation, breath work, yoga, connect with nature, music, anything that quiets your mind and brings you peace. Just make a commitment to yourself that you're worth the effort. I know so many people that hear the word meditate and they think they have to have, it has to be quiet. I can't meditate because I can't quiet my mind. And I just spoke to a good friend about this yesterday. And I said, meditation is not about not having anything go on in your brain. Meditation is allowing everything that goes on in your brain and in your body while you're sitting there for that time, but not being attached to it. I could be in meditation and have thoughts, oh, did I remember to start the crock pot? And I just allow that to go. And I have lots of thoughts and lots of things are, oh, my leg hurts right now or my foot hurts. Okay. And I just allow it. I don't fight it. I let it go. So for me, that's what works to getting my mind quiet. Does anybody else have anything to say about that or work about keeping your mind? Any suggestions about ways to, Darlene? Oh, repetitive chores? Yes, that's a form of meditation. Yeah, I would think of walking, moving, motion meditation. Yeah, I know I feel that when I'm in the garden watering. I just get lost in the energy. Thank you. Now, as I mentioned before, today is the second Sunday of Advent. In many traditions, this day is totally dedicated to peace. So if you guys like, maybe later when you go home, you can light a candle. They suggested purple, as you lovely ladies are wearing. It doesn't have to be any color that represents peace to you. So just if you want to light a candle and just visualize peace first, starting in your heart and then spreading to the world. So I think all of you got your little bags of sweets, right? Okay. And we're going to sing the song, if you rise, if you can. This is one of my favorite holiday songs. And it's a little different. It is to the tune of Silent Night, but you'll notice the words are different. Jamie, do you mind giving us a loud, sing loud, Jamie, to get us started? Yes. Silent night, solstice night, all is gone, all is bright, nature's suffers in forest and glen, till in springtime she wakens again. Sleeping spirits grow strong. Sleeping spirits grow strong. Silent night, solstice night, silver moon shining bright, snowfall blankets the slumbering earth. Your fires welcome the sun's rebirth. Hark, the light is reborn. Hark, the light is reborn. Night. Night. What rest till the light turning ever the rolling wheel brings the comfort and heal. Rest your spirit in peace. Rest Thank you, Jamie. That was beautiful. Thank you. So I want to thank you all for your time and attention today. And may each of you be blessed with peace of mind, comfort of body, and connection with spirit. And so, in the wise words of my father, y'all look busy. Let me let you go. Bye.
Yes. Oh, that's such a great twist.
I know, isn't it beautiful? I have a beautiful version of, beautiful version. What's the name? Yes. The losing grace is taught us how to taste, to touch, to feel. Others, it's the verses are just so. I do. So, are you staying for stuff? So, I think it's actually one of those, you can say that. But, Judy and I want to use these. And it's not two verses for me, so it's gonna have to be. She wants to know if we pass out the candy. Yes, absolutely. You have the same. Okay. I need to. Yeah, two first verses is the. There's, it's just telling us all about it. You can heard the other version of the lady race. Yeah, one of the verses is amazing grace is what we have, it's taste and touch to feel. Oh my God, the wonders of undying love that we see.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I mean, just like, yeah.
And I want you to do a workshop. Okay. Yeah, I want to.
We all want you to.
Thanks.